All right, welcome back to the Slab Lab. I am with Southpaw strikeout sensation, former first rounder, MacKenzie Gore.
Welcome to 2025. MacKenzie Gore letting the fastball rip right there on the inside corner. Swing and a miss.
At the end of the day, I think if you execute your strengths, you're going to have success.
Lefty, thanks for joining us, man. I appreciate your time.
Yep, thanks for having me.
You represent a lot of what is fun for me about being able to sit down and do this for a lot of different reasons. One, you're a high-octane lefty, so I'm very jealous of you. You got cool stuff that I always wanted to play with. One of the first things I wanted to dive in with you about is the strikeout, the art of the strikeout, hunting the strikeout. Is this a real thing? Is this something that pitchers are conscious of? For somebody who has the ability to generate swing and miss the way that you do at an incredible rate, is that something that is prioritized for you initially the minute we take the baseball, or is it something that you start to feel your way through in the at-bat?
Obviously, I want to strike everybody out.
Yeah.
I think anybody that is capable of striking people out, they love striking people out. But I think you got to find the happy medium of not chasing it 0-0, understanding how you put yourself in situations where you get strikeouts and doing that. I almost kind of look at it, I call it birdie putts.
Yeah.
We want to get as many good birdie putts as we can get, and we try to make a few, and it's usually a good day. Understand you got to get to 2 strikes or get ahead of guys and win counts, and if you do that, then I usually strike people out.
Well, and I think what people don't understand about what you're saying is, like, well, how can you chase the punch out 0-0? Well, it's trying to be too fine. It's throwing that bastard slider 0-0 when you don't need to, right? Or that big bender when you don't need to. It's a matter of getting ahead. Has there been, or was there, like, sort of a aha moment where, you know what, strike one might just be the best pitch in baseball?
Yeah, it's something I've really had to, I'm still working on it. I pitched against Wheeler a lot in my career, and kind of just watching how he attacks, the plate.
It's 0-1 when he wakes up for breakfast.
And how him and JT, they go right at a guy 0-0, and then they kind of expand later. That's something I've kind of learned from just watching those guys. And there's obviously a lot of other pitchers that do that.
Sure.
He's just a guy that I've pitched against a bunch. And if you talk about consistent and getting to 0-1, he's probably the best there is. Just trying to learn from guys like that, and I'm still, like I said, I'm still learning, still trying to become really good at it.
Sure.
But I think that's something that, as a pitcher, if you can get to 0-1, but it's got to be a good 0-1 pitch.
That's quality strikes.
Yep. So, a good example of that yesterday. But I think just trying to win 0-0, and if you don't get the 0-1, just try to get back to 1-1.
You mentioned facing off against Wheels a lot and being able to just kind of at times watch, and it's tough to watch while we're trying to compete as well. Has there, or was there somebody, who was your dude on the wall? Who was the poster guy for you?
When I was super young, Bumgarner being a North Carolina guy.
Yeah.
And then as I got, into the draft and then into the minor leagues, the Kershaw stuff, just with the leg kicks. And the breaking ball. And they were really good at what they were really good at. And that's kind of what I'm figuring out. The big leagues is really good players are just really good at what they're good at.
Sure.
And they do it over and over, and then they make the adjustment when they need to, kind of before, the other team makes the adjustment. So, yeah, I would say those 2 left-handers, and then as you get in division, you just watch guys you play against all the time.
You talk about watching them, understanding, having the success that they're having. What was it about watching them that you were able to take away from what you do well?
Watching how guys attack hitters, and they're so consistent. I think that's the kind of the coolest thing about those guys is they just do it. It seems like every time out.
It's automatic.
And then right now you got Crochet and Scooble. I mean they're going 6 or 7, and
that's appointment television for lefties, dude.
A lot of good players to watch right now, and I think that's, in my opinion, yes, you can ask questions, but I think you learn just watching guys just as much as talking to people. So.
Well, it's kind of like learning information about a hitter. You can watch the swings, and there's information there. There's a lot of information in takes as well. All right, let's pop the hood.
Fastball.
Waiting for very late on the curveballs.
1-2 changeup.
Slug and OPS.
And that will be strikeout number 100.
We got 4-seam fastball, we got slider, we got curveball. You may be cutting it a little.
Yeah.
You got a changeup as well. Where do you want to start?
The heater's pretty standard. Just trying just a typical heater grip.
You can throw it right in there.
And
horseshoe to the inside or
yep,
outside?
To the inside.
Okay.
And then, you know, the curveball, I don't do much with the pointer finger, but it's there. And then I try to kind of get this ring finger under it, and just so I can create the spin this way. And I want it to be efficient, and that's when the best shape.
Well, that's when the banger shows up.
Yeah. So and then, you know, they call it a cutter. It's the slider I've always thrown. I don't really, whatever people want to call it, you can call it. It's just I kind of preset the fingers on this horseshoe right here, and then I just throw as hard as I can, pretty much.
So is that more of a, because I was a dude who had a god awful, I'm talking terrible breaking ball, and I would have to lie to myself, right? I'm gonna tell myself it's a slider because at best it's a loopy slurve, and it was really just about mentally being able to physically execute something that I needed to generate in terms of arm speed. Is there something like that going on with you there? Just
well, no, you know, like I said, I've always thrown it. I had to figure out where it performed the best. I also started throwing a little bigger slider to left-handers, some to right-handers. It's still something I haven't done a ton of, but
do we refuse to say the S word?
I'm not a guy that makes the ball go right.
Sure.
Great.
Yep.
So if I could get a little more sweep in it, that'd be amazing sometimes. And I've shown flashes of it, but it's just a bigger slider.
Because the slider against left-handers right now is grotesque.
Yeah.
I mean, you are dominating left-handers with this thing. Yeah. So was there a conscious decision to shape it up differently for you?
Well, I'd always played with it last year the regular slider that was, you know, averaging around 92, it was something you could kind of stay on as a left-hander. It was like 96, or you stay on 92 and you hit it to left. So I had to be really fine with the location, and I wanted something that could just free me up a little bit, and I could just throw really aggressive. And it's been good. It's been good so far. It's helped me a lot with the left-handers.
I mean, I've got the numbers written down here. It is 176. Lefties are hitting 176. You got a 43% whiff rate on this damn thing against the South. They're not even seeing it. They don't have a chance.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a good feeling. Understand that it's not even, you don't have to throw it to a corner for it to be. It's like kind of a outer half of the zone, and it's probably going to be a good pitch. So yeah, and like I said, it's made it where I don't have to be as perfect, because my personality is more of I want to just kind of compete with the guy in there and be aggressive instead of trying to hit a corner every time. You know, it was a nice adjustment we made as a group here, and it's been good up to this point.
I say it's paying off.
Yep.
Talk to me about that change piece.
Yeah, the changeup, it's a funky grip.
Oh, look at you.
You know, if I don't have a ton of, I'll get the middle finger on there a little more, but when it's rolling, I feel good. I'm going with this ring and pinky with a little bit of middle finger right here, and that's kind of how I kill the vert on it, because the more middle finger I get, the more vert it has.
Sure.
And I try to throw it off the middle of the hand. You know, I don't want to, when I try to do this, that's kind of when the yanks happen. So I want it to come off the middle of the hand, and it just spins the ball like this, and then that's when, if the vert's under 10, it performs pretty well. Like, obviously, if you get it down to closer to 0, that's great.
Sure.
But under 10 is what we want to be. If we can do that consistently, then it's a good pitch.
Worried about the H at all?
Yeah, 15 is great if it can get there, but if it's going to have some horizontal on it. So if it's under 10, and if it's a 8, 13, or 6, 14, it's going to be a good pitch.
Yeah, you're happy with that.
So, especially off the heater, it kind of looks like it's moving a lot more than maybe it says it is on the numbers.
Well, that's all part of the deception, right?
Yep.
And so now that takes me to the relationship that you may have or may not have with some of the data that is available to us now as pitchers, because you strike me as somebody who would be interested in learning how the ball is coming off your hand, learning what that thing is doing, so that I can make a real-time in-at-bat adjustment, right? To hell with in the series or in this month, I'm trying to make an adjustment right now. Like, it's 2-1, how do I get you out 2-1? So was there a moment that you had to sort of like come to Jesus moment with the information, with the data?
Yeah, well, I've always been someone that I really like it. I think it's important. I think all the good teams and good players use it. I think understanding how to use it is probably, now what is the best way to use it, I'm still not sure.
Sure.
But I use the numbers. I know if I can get to certain shapes, that's the best pitch I have. So if my curveball is at this shape, if my slider's here and changeup's here and the heater's here, that's the best version of those pitches. And how do we get there? And so I think it's important. So yeah, I think it's a great tool.
Do you believe that pitch design is something that can be tended to, can be manicured during the season? Do you feel like pitch design sessions are maybe better left for the off season, maybe even the All-Star break, where you might have a couple opportunities to kick off the mound? What is your thought on that? Because we don't want to see guys, I hate to see guys, I should say, get inundated with information, and then they start drowning in the analytics, and they don't know which end is up, and they've lost what makes them good. What are your thoughts on that?
I think you can do it during the season for sure, especially if something kind of leaves for a couple weeks.
Sure.
And you have all this stuff that's saved. You got video, the way the ball's going off. I did it with a curveball about a week or so ago. Why is it not exactly the same shape? And then we had the information, and this is how we get back to it. And then it's something you get to go back to if it ever happens. You can see it on the board and go, all right, this is all I have to do, and then we're back to where we need to be. So I think you can do it during the season. If obviously the off season is great because you are well rested. So and that's the thing about when you're in a season, you got to figure out what's too much in a side, what's because you got to pitch in 5 days.
Exactly. You're trying to touch and feel. You're trying to maintain some level of I feel good physically. I feel fine. I also don't want to catch myself in a session where I'm now hammering something. Feel good coming out of it, but 2 days from now, where I got to go get outs, I'm not who I need to be.
Yeah, that's always interesting. What's too much in a side, but I think you can do it in the season for sure.
Are there certain metrics that you have gravitated towards?
It's kind of just when I throw something in a side, is it in the ballpark that I want it to be in with whatever pitch it is? So if I can see that, and then if it's not, I see how the ball comes off the hand, and then you just make the adjustment. So I think going in, I have a really good idea of what I want everything to be at shape-wise, and I try to get it where it needs to be. And if we need to work on it more than others, we might just throw a lot of those pitches that day. But I think if you have a good idea going in what it needs to be, then you can kind of get it where it needs to be. Yeah,
you can get there. Where are you at on the rubber?
My idea is with the drag, I like to be. In my mind, I'm like right around the middle. I guess the heel is technically toward the third base side, but I'm a north-south guy, and that's kind of it's a better line to the plate. And
thank you for saying that. Thank you for putting it into context, because I think a lot of people ask themselves, well, why is he set up right down the middle? Like, doesn't he know how his stuff plays? And you just answered that with the follow-up statement as to why. I am a north and south guy. How you attack the strike zone, you do this. You're not an east to west guy. It's not big run on the heater. It's not a big sweeper when it comes to spinning the baseball. You can spin the fastball, and you do a great job of taking velocity off. You do a much better job, I think, of controlling the speeds and shaping up the two other offerings that we just talked about. So it stands to reason you don't want to put yourself in a spot one side or the other where your stuff's just not playing. So you are in the middle, and has there been an adjustment period for you where you went from first base side because you were getting your ass kicked, third base side because you can't figure something out, it's not playing for you?
A year ago, kind of going into the 2024, I moved more toward the middle. It was more of a you try to hold tension is a word we use in our deliveries, and one way to do that is you just move toward the middle. Instead of trying to hold it longer, you just move toward the middle, and your body kind of does it itself. So I did that 2 off seasons ago, and that's kind of a cue I kind of hold on to. Everybody wants to hold tension, but that's kind of how I do it. I move to the middle, and I'm going to aim everything toward this spot. And obviously, if you're going in or out more fine, then you kind of aim a little more left or right. But that's kind of, I hold tension better toward the middle of the rubber, and I kind of throw all 4 pitches at this, start in the same place, and one goes one way and one goes the other.
It's all out of the and that's another layer of your deception, is we're talking about working out of the same tunnel. Everything's out of the same damn spot, and it's tough to pick up, especially when we're going to gear up for mid to upper 9s, right? We're starting to tickle century marks, and now I got to worry about that guy too. I got to worry about you. That's a tough adjustment for me to make. Are you somebody who dives in the video room? Do you give a damn about video? Does it matter to you? Or are you more of a, you know what, I just kind of want to feel what I'm doing, and I can correlate some video, but I'm not a big video guy at all. Where do you stand on that, whether it's in regards to yourself or studying the idiot up there with the bat?
Well, I like to know just so I feel prepared. And At the end of the day, I think if you execute your strengths, you're going to have success. And typically, when they do damage, it's because you didn't make a pitch.
Sure.
You know, you got to know what the team or each guy is trying to do, if they're aggressive or not aggressive, or what they like a little more than they don't like. But at the end of the day, you just really want to bully guys with your strengths, understand what they're good at and not good at as a hitter, and kind of put those together, I think, and try to go execute.
Brian Wu said something that I have really latched on to, and I've heard multiple guys talk about it. Jesus Luzardo also mentioned it, but pitching is offensive. Like the team is on defense, but the ball is in your hand. There is a hunter mentality that needs to be present if you're going to be able to execute to the extent that you're talking about. Is there something that you do in terms of mental approach to get yourself prepared to go out and compete?
You know, I'm a pretty competitive guy.
I like that, by the way.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
So, as it's something that needs to get me ready to go out there and compete, yeah, there's preparation, there's a lot of things you do, but I'm pretty ready to go when I'm out there. But I think that kind of like we go back to the 0-1 stuff, I think that's the offensive mind there, is you want to get those guys as uncomfortable as you can, as quickly as you can, and that's kind of the same idea as what you're talking about right here, in my opinion. Because
now, if you have an idea of where you're at in the count, what you want to do, it almost feels like you've already been here.
Yeah.
We're just kind of playing this out, right? Like that's what deja vu is.
Yeah.
Is it's just the reminder that you've been here before, you're on the right path. Just kind of keep sticking with it. In terms of swing reading, which is something that I don't want to say that I'm a master at it.
Yeah.
Feel pretty good about it. Feel pretty good about being able to pick out a hole in a guy. Is that something that you put a lot of stock into?
Yeah, you know, I think that's something I have been able to do well. I think it's really important. The way I pitch goes into a lot of, you know, swing reading, as in what pitch are we going to throw next, what off speed is the best in this situation, where's the hip going on the hitter.
Is this stuff you look at in video at all?
In video, and then you know, as the bat goes along, some guys will move their feet in the box.
Yes.
So there's little things that's why they're good players. But if you can see it, then you can kind of go right at them with what they're not expecting. So yeah, I think reading swings is probably just as important as knowing a scouting report, and just understanding what they're trying to do to you up there. And if you see a hip leaking, you've got this option, and if you see a nose staying in there, you got these options. So I think that's some of the most fun in a outing, is being able to read swings and kind of.
Well, it feels like you've almost been like you've unearthed the answers to the test, like from the top of the classroom. The answers to the test have just like floated right onto your desk, and you're like, does anybody else see what I see right now? Like, this isn't, you feel like you're cheating almost, because you're geared up for what you're seeing. Like, you know, you have a feel. Yeah.
And then you got to make sure you're seeing the right things.
Sure.
It's almost become something when you see a hitter do a certain thing, it's a certain answer. Like you said, this is what we're going with. So yeah, it's, you know, that's part of the game. And if you and your catcher can both be on the same page, or if they can see something right then, it becomes a beautiful outing.
Oh my God, well, that's where you start dancing.
Yep.
Right? And that's where I was going to ask you, I don't know if you've ever had a moment where you feel something, and it's almost like, I know things are good right now, they're about to get a whole lot better, because here's what I'm seeing. Have you had that moment?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, catching's a tough job, you know, but there's been certain starts, especially if a guy's caught you for a while, and when they call something exactly what you're thinking, like immediately after a swing or a foul ball, there's like not a better feeling on the mound. So, you know, that's a fun part of the game. That relationship with the catcher is the most important thing.
Yes.
And that's hard for people to understand sometimes. But yeah, when a catcher's on the same page and they call the same thing you're thinking all the time, or if you shake and the next thing is exactly what you're thinking, it's a great feeling.
No, it does. It feels like everybody's done their homework. Today's going to be a really, really good day. As a left-hander, we have grown up our entire life with these idiots over here on first base dancing in our face.
Yep.
Jab steps and whatever it may be. We're watching these guys in today's game try to utilize the pitch timer as an offensive weapon for themselves. They feel like, if I can time him up, I've got a good idea of when he's going to go.
Yep.
Are you somebody who is a reader? Are you predetermined? Are you a hybrid of the two?
The pitch clock's kind of changed things for a left-hander, in my opinion, as when it comes to pickoffs. I'm not a read guy. I used to look a lot at first. You can kind of tell now. I don't even hardly. It doesn't look like I can see, but
Sure.
I don't just look at the guy on first. And you got what, 3 pickoffs? So I think getting the sign early, being able to hold the ball. If I've got a guy that I know is probably going to go, if I can get him just a chance to throw him out, that's our best chance. Because I'm probably not going to pick him off, and he's going to go first move. So yeah, you got to keep him close. They have their counts that they like to go in teams. But I do think the pitch clock has changed the left-handed pickoff a lot.
Big time.
It almost seems like the right-handed pickoff is a better move now.
It pains me to hear those words,
Yeah.
but you are the first left-hander outside of myself
Yeah.
that has even drawn that conclusion.
And I don't necessarily think it's close anymore because they just go first move on the left-hander.
That's it.
So yeah, you're like, oh, the guy guessed right and you picked him off, or caught stealing, whatever you call it. But when it comes to pickoffs, Fried might pick somebody off now, but the right-handers are going to pick you off more often than a left-hander.
Especially, I watched Severino last night. Very close plays over there, but he consistently keeps the runners close.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something I picked up on. It's something that I haven't really talked a lot about because I hate to expose lefties at any point in time.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I think I have seen start to expose left-handers a bit is if you don't have the ability to control the running game or even just pay attention to them over there, it's going to be prevalent very quickly. We're going to watch a track meet break out, and I ain't here for that.
Last year a lot of stolen bases against me, and really we've thrown out a lot of guys. A lot of that I'm not the one throwing the ball to second, but I've given guys a better chance. And we've thrown out guys at second this year, and it's just getting the sign a little earlier and using the clock against them.
That's it.
Just get them flat-footed, get a bad jump, and you got a good chance.
And see, for me, that's one of the sexier things, and that's something that's a lot of fun. Is you got somebody over here that's jumping, chomping at the bit. They want to get, and you just holding that baseball for that half second longer, giving them that extra look. You can watch them, like you said, get them flat-footed. You put them in the stable. They don't want to go anymore.
Yep.
We have watched you for a few years now, and I've watched the arsenal. As I said, it's not that it's changed. Profile on the pitches have changed a bit. We've watched the curveball take on a little bit of a different profile these days. And I know, and you know as well as I do, that something that impacts that can be arm angle. And we have watched you, whether it's consciously or not, and I don't know how aware of this you may be, but we have watched the arm angle for you dip a little bit. I think up as high as 50 degrees in 2022, down to 45, I believe, at this point in time. The first question has that been a conscious adjustment of yours?
Right now, I do think in the last few weeks it's probably a little lower than I would like it to be, but that's by, 2 or 3 degrees.
Yeah, it's marginal degrees.
Throwing up in the zone more creates probably a little lower arm angle maybe. The approach angle is better.
Sure.
So I'm sure that has something to do with it.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah. I mean, if I throw a heater down, unless it's a pitch that I know he's not going to swing at, and I call it a snipe because it's not a swing count. He's trying not to swing at a breaking ball under, so then you can throw a heater down. My heater's better at the top third of the zone.
Yes.
Or top half. So maybe that has something to do with it. And
well, think about maintaining that ride, right?
Yeah.
Like that's where, and when we start talking about, cut ride that we're after, and the ability to upshoot the baseball. That's where arm angle really starts to have an impact.
Yep.
Because your stuff just looks different.
Yeah. And then, if I do stay at, I'm not sure exactly what the degrees is. I do know if it's a little lower, the vert is down. But it's, like I said, it's 2 or 3 degrees. Understanding where that is, if I can stay at a certain point and with the vert, it's a really good fastball.
Well, speaking of approach angle, we are approaching the end of our conversation here, so I want to have a little fun with you before we let you go, Lefty, and you've been very gracious with your time. Can't thank you enough, man. You've got wipeout type stuff. But if we had to take one of your pitches and you had to throw it away, but you could adopt that same pitch from somebody else, you get to now plug that into your arsenal. Which pitch are you getting rid of, and whose pitch are you picking up?
I got to go get either Scoob or Sanchez's changeup. Just the way they command it. I mean, my changeup gets a ton of swing and miss, but I just don't command it at as high as level as they do. And they're nasty. Those changeups are nasty.
Those are disgusting. Favorite ballpark to pitch in?
So when it comes to ballparks, I really like San Diego. I really like Wrigley.
Yes.
Philly's fun to pitch in. You just got to make sure they don't score.
Get it down.
I would say those three. Obviously, Dodger Stadium's always fun to go to.
Yep. The energy.
Yeah, it's just the energy in those parks. But when it comes to being able to pitch and put up zeros, I would say San Diego is probably as good as it gets.
The beach.
Yeah.
Because it is a beach out there.
Yeah.
All right, last question here. I lied. Two more. You get to have one at bat against anybody you want. Wake him up, unbury him, whatever you got to do. Maybe he's alive. Who do you want to step in that box? Who are you competing against? Your stuff against them. This is how we measure it.
And I'm
and you.
I'm hitting.
No.
Oh.
No, you're pitching.
Oh, who am I just pitching against?
Yeah, which at bat do you want? Like, this is the at bat where we're going to log this one and we're going to go to the bar and we're going to tell the boys how it went.
I mean, this question can go. This could be one of those careful what you ask for questions.
Yes, sir. We've had that.
So I'm going to go with someone that's not playing anymore.
There you go. Good call.
I mean, you probably got to go see what Bonds was about,
buddy.
You got to go see.
You ain't
see
the
it
only
for yourself.
one. Yes.
And it's a safe bet because he's not playing anymore. So.
Safe bet, very safe bet. The final question: if you could go back into any moment in baseball history and witness this moment, what would it be?
I don't want to see one of the 20 strikeout games.
Kerry Wood?
Kerry Wood would be great. Any of them. I was able to meet him too when I was 18.
Oh, wow.
It was when I won the Gatorade. He was the one that flew to North Carolina and then kind of he gave me the award.
When you won the what?
It was the Gatorade Player of the Year award.
Sorry about it, humble brag.
So, but yeah, he flew in the middle of nowhere in North Carolina and gave me the award. So that was cool. And then obviously I know Max, so Scherzer's 20 strikeout game would been cool to watch, I'm sure.
Well, Kerry Wood's the most dominant by game scored, the most dominant game ever pitched.
Yeah, I've seen the highlights. It was nasty.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Made a lot of really good hitters look like they had never seen a baseball before.
So that would be probably strikeout 20. See somebody do that.
All solid answers, my man. Mac, I can't thank you enough, brother. This has been outstanding.
Appreciate it. Yep.
Very much enjoyed it. Good luck the rest of the year, my man.
Thank you.
We'll be talking to you soon.
All right.
That is
Sweet.
the Slab Lab. Dandara.